What's up guys? So today in this video I'm going to show you something about the rules engine. In my last video there was a lot of requests asking me about the code. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to fish rather than giving you the fish. Actually I was trying to do some improvement in this code but I messed it up and then I haven't worked in it for like years. So it will take me a lot of time to fix this, but yeah, I'm just gonna give you the idea and then you can do it yourself if you want to. So if you don't know what rules engine is, there is some link over here. You can go and see what I'm talking about. And so how do I start it? So there are few phases of doing this project. So the first phase is like you need to understand what you're trying to do. So you're trying to make a rules engine, which is basically like there are some rules that you can manage from the UI, and then on demand you can hit an API or something and pass some data and evaluate it against those rules. So how do you approach that, right? So what I did was like I started with a design of the rule. I created a JSON file which represents the rule that I'm thinking how it works. So it basically will have a name, a type field of rule, which is obviously rule. It's not going to be something else. Conditions. So this condition is very basic, where it has just one condition, but there might be end condition where there are a bunch of this kind of condition, but all of them needs to be true for this whole condition to be true. And this can be an OR condition where there might be a bunch of conditions and any one of them can be true for this whole condition to be true. So for that reason I just created a simple condition. It's a little bit messed up. There might be some mess up in the data, but just try to understand what my thought process was at that time. So what my rule will do is it will have some conditions that it will check on the data that is passed to it, and if those conditions are true it will do some action on the data. So here action represents like it will put a field called citizen with a value of Nepal if this condition is true, and this condition is if there is a field which has a value of Nepal, then the output value will be also Nepal for the citizen field, right? That's how I designed a rule. And then other things are simple, like there can be a UI where you can generate this JSON, and there can be a backend code which will basically read this JSON and then parse it into a class structure, and then you can pass your request body, whatever you want to evaluate against, and this class will basically evaluate that and give you the result. So what I'm talking about is, so let's go with this. What it is doing in the service layer is it's actually getting the rule that you want to evaluate against, and it's loading it from the database. And what it is doing is once it's loaded from the database, it's parsing that into classes. So let me show you. So this represents a rule, and for every of these things there is a equivalent class on the Java, and the main logic is to how do you parse this JSON into Java classes. So this is the equivalent Java class for this whole rule, right? Name, type, and then there are a list of conditions and then a list of actions, right? And then if you go inside the conditions, if you go inside the condition, it will again have condition type, which might be simple condition, or condition, end condition, name field, operator, value, and conditions. there might be other conditions as well if it is an on or end condition. Similarly, if you go inside action, it will also have some things that it does, and then there is a method that is not in this JSON, but you can think of it as like a actual method that does the action. So the main thing is creating this kind of structure and then parsing it into classes, and then the class will have some methods that will actually go through these conditions and then do the action. From a high level, if you are able to do this, then you can design the rules engine. And then the other things are just cosmetic things on top of that, like create a UI and then have the ability to make the rules dynamically on the fly from the UI, save it in the backend database, and when somebody wants to evaluate against that rule, just pull it from the database, parse it into Java classes, do the evaluation, return the field, and then destroy the objects. That's all this project is doing, and you can create a rules engine out of that, a very simple rules engine. Complex rules engine, there are so many things that goes on. Even I am not very familiar with that, but yeah, this was my project where like I had to do this for one of my clients, so I created this rules engine. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Yeah, till next time.